2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
G'day there, podcaster. Hope you enjoyed this special edition of the podcast, Valentine's Day themed-ish. Like there's one thing in there about Valentine's Day. Also, we get some wild, gory stories, and we meet the amazing Brooke, who's running around Australia.
Previously on Ben, Liam and Belle.
I unfortunately stumbled across my mum's 50 Shades of Grey book next to her in her bedside table.
At least it was a sexy book. Like if it was like The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe or something, you'd be like, what's going on?
And now, live across Australia, this is Ben, Liam and Belle.
Mr. Dumbness, do you have a thing, Mr. Dumbness?
On Nova.
Good evening, Australia. We've got a very special, sexy themed show. Because, of course, tonight, or today, is V-Day. Got big plans, Liam?
Yeah, no, I was going to go out for a romantic dinner with my wife, but then I thought I'd just do the show with you guys. So I thought that would be a better idea. But it's going to be a candlelit show. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, yeah. Let's do the candlelit show and start it with a bit of Second Chance Talkback.
Second chance, second chance, second chance, second chance, talk back, second chance, on your radio. Second chance.
Yeah, this is where we revisit some of the phoners that we did throughout the week. And we did some good ones, Ben and Belle. We did. Did you get one over your nemesis after the Super Bowl halftime show? Were you hit by a ball? There were some good ones for that, actually. A dare you went through with?
Yes, that was a good one. Let's start tonight with Nicole. You served a celeb.
I served Guns N' Roses.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was
The
pretty
whole game?
wild. Well, so it started out with the drummer, Frank Ferrer, and Chris Tipton, the keyboardist.
Okay,
They
so
came to
I'm
Hard
just going
Rock
to stop you
Cafe.
there. You've only mentioned the 2 bad ones so far. You know what I mean? No,
Frank
everyone's
Ferrer's
everyone's
amazing.
like Slash and Axl, and did they come in?
Slash was not a part of the band at that stage, but
okay.
Axl did. Hey, wait a minute! Axl did quote me on stage because we had a huge lock-in after, so they came for dinner. Then I said, you have to stay with the staff. We had a lock-in. I introduced them to Tim Tams. It was crazy. And they said, right, we got to go. We've got a show tomorrow. I said, dry your eyes, princess. Let's get into it. Anyway, the next night we were at the show. They gave all 65 staff members passes to it. And Axl on stage was like, oh, yeah, I met this girl. She said to dry my tears, princess. And my sister and I were like, that was me. And we were all going, that was her. It was crazy. We actually spent the whole week with them.
Oh, that's sick. You did redeem yourself. You redeemed yourself there. I thought at the start, I was like, yeah, I met up with Guns N' Roses too. The drummer and the keyboardist. What? Like who?
Nicole, I'm sure it was a wild week. Is there anything else you can tell us that you did that week with them?
Absolutely. We ended up backstage at Exhibit concert and into his after party. We were drinking his Hennessy and, it was just so funny.
Well, Nicole, thank you very much for calling us for Second Chance Talkback. Chris joins us now. You're calling because you hit someone with a ball.
Correct. I was probably 25 plus years ago. I was probably about 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
It was my old man's work Christmas break-up, and they were at a golf course for a function. And anyway, I'm probably, like I said, I was with the green trying to hit this ball, and I kept swinging and missing, and then eventually I hit a crack. There was an elderly couple playing near us, and the ball went flying and hit the elderly lady in the ankle, and she just dropped to the floor. And my dad just kind of buckled, and he rushed me off to the toilet into the club room there, and we hid in there for about 20 minutes, and we come back out, and she's getting lifted into an ambulance.
Wait, your dad, you were a child, and instead of him teaching you the right thing and looking after her, he said, quick, son, go hide in the toilet.
Yeah, he kind of just buckled because I think he had a few to drink too, being a work breakup. He didn't know what to do. He just rushed me to the toilet. We hid in there for about 20 minutes, and to get into the back of an ambulance. So
You could have killed that woman. We better get out of here. Run, boy, run. Don't come back.
Thanks, Chris.
We're currently doing Second Chance Talk Back. Paula, good evening. You shared a lift with someone famous. Who was it?
Lewis Hamilton at the Langham in South Bank.
That is a hell of a hotel and a hell of a big name. One of the biggest in motorsport. Nice guy.
Oh, such a perfect gentleman, honestly. We had a whole conversation. I'm half British, half Australian, and he picked up my accent. And he was going downstairs to do a press conference, and I just had some photos done there of doing a photo shoot, Mum's photo shoot. And when I got out of the lift, there was all this press and everybody else, and he turned around and he said, "Excuse me," he said, "let the lady through," and he just gave me a peck on the cheek.
Ooh!
And I was like, "Oh my God." And then everyone else was like, I said, "Oh, thanks, Lewis." And he said, "Have a lovely day, Paula." And I'm like, "Oh my God."
Wow. Bloody, now I want to do 13, 24, 10. Has a celebrity given you a peck on the cheek?
Paula, thank you.
He's really small.
Sorry, just added. It was just a really nice story about Lewis Hamilton, how kind he was, such a gentleman, and then you just threw that haymaker in there. But he's a little short. Yeah. No, he's gorgeous, obviously handsome, very rich, one of the fastest men on the planet. But he is short, and I normally date guys 5'9" and over.
It's kind of gross that he kissed me, actually.
Yeah, it was weird. Get away from me, you little freak.
The Ben, Liam and Bell podcast.
Ben, Liam and Bell here on your Friday night. You are tuned in to Nova. If you have just joined us, you would have missed us chatting with Paula. She was talking about how she shared a lift with Lewis Hamilton. We were wrapping the call up. It all went very well. Then she dropped this bombshell. Paula, thank you.
He's really small.
Sorry, just added. It was just a really nice story about Lewis Hamilton, how kind he was, such a gentleman, and then you just threw that haymaker in there.
And we're so glad she did, because it's given us the idea tonight to do 13, 24, 10. Who was shorter than you thought her? Did you bump into a celeb and they were shorter than you thought they were going to be?
And we're already getting calls coming through. Good evening, George. Who was shorter than you thought her?
Well, I got in the lift with Lance Armstrong. He was a lot shorter than I thought, but he had big thighs.
Wow, Lance Armstrong is
short.
short.
If it was the drugs or not. Yeah, he was a lot shorter.
Yeah, when you bumped into him, he's probably just trying to find a nice spot for some doping. Get out of here. I'm trying to put my old blood back into me. Gee whiz, how do you think I go so fast up those hills?
Thanks, George.
We're joined now by Nathan in Adelaide, mate. Who was shorter than you thought?
Ice Cube.
Oh, right. Yeah, he sort of seems like a big menacing figure, you know what I mean? Like, especially the bars he spits, pretty hardcore. How little are we talking?
Yeah, he would be about, I reckon 1.5 metres tall, to be honest with you. When I was a little bit younger, I used to go to the airport to catch celebrities as they'd come into the city, and he came through with his entourage, and they all acted very tough, but I actually think he's got little man syndrome.
Nathan, oh my gosh, you're one of those people. I've always wondered who these people are at the airport that, like, when celebs come out, they're like, oh my God.
I've just looked up Ice Cube, 173.
Tiny.
So small. Because it's funnier because Ben and I are so tall.
They're not, Nathan.
Thanks, Nath.
Nat in Melbourne. Who was shorter than you thought?
I had to bail on my chem exam to see Zac Efron down in Melbourne when he came down for the third High School Musical. And I was waiting for 6 hours. When he walked up, it was a really hot day, and he had makeup sweating down his face, dripping when he was signing an autograph. And then I didn't even have to look up at him, and I'm about 5'2". So he was just slightly taller than me, and then since then I was not in love anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've just looked up. He's the exact same height as Ice Cube, funnily enough. Legit.
That's the insult. I didn't even have to look up at him.
Yeah. Yeah, not what you want when Troy Bolton in the flesh is in front of you. I mean, you would think if he's like the best on the high school basketball team and his head is always in the game, he would be a tall guy. But no, it's not what you think.
W's in the chat for this pod.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Oi, Stop gooning. The next bit's about to start.
Ben Lehman Bell here on Nova across Australia.
Hi, I'm Julia Roberts, and this is Ben, Liam, and Belle's Pick the Flick. I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her.
Oh, what a classic line. Thank you, Julia. That one was very expensive, but obviously it's Valentine's Day. It's the rom-com version of Pick the Flick. We're joined now by Amy in Melbourne. How you doing, Amy?
Hi, guys. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. So I've got 3 blurbs of movies here. It's best of 3. You can go up against Ben or Belle. Look, Belle started off well, but she's been pretty bad the last couple of weeks. So if you want
It was once.
easier run, I would say go Belle.
Oh, I've been contemplating who to pick. I honestly might pick Ben.
All right.
Okay, you want to play hard. All right, I like that. Okay, well, here we go. Rom-coms. Your first movie, Amy and Ben. 2 worlds collide in a whirlwind romantic adventure. When a humble bookstore owner's mundane existence collides with Hollywood glamour. When the world's most famous actress stumbles into the shop.
Ben.
Yeah.
Notebook.
Oh my God.
I don't really do rom-com.
I mean, Amy, this is also insane that you don't know this.
Is this why you picked Ben, Amy?
I don't know.
You don't know? I mean...
Hang on. I need to keep listening. Have you got more?
Yeah, I've got more, mate, but you should know this. I mean, we literally just heard the line, the iconic line. I'm also just a girl standing in front of a boy.
Asking him to love her.
I don't know that one.
Julia Roberts.
Dude. No one gets the point.
Can I say
You guys suck. Notting Hill. Everyone knows that.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, God. Have you seen it, Amy?
One Tree Hill.
Dude. Notting Hill, the rom-com, the one of the most famous, if not the most famous
The intro was
rom-com.
literally Julia Roberts.
It was Julia Roberts saying, "Hi, I'm Julia Roberts. Here's a quote from..." Oh, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Now I feel embarrassed.
As you should, and Ben should as well. And Belle had her hand up the whole time. You weren't selected to play Belle, so you may as well put it down.
Glad I didn't pick up.
Okay, here we go. Second film. 2 worlds collide in a whirlwind romantic adventure when a cold-hearted corporate worker's life takes an unexpected turn when he hires a vivacious lady of the night for a high society event in Los Angeles.
Pretty Woman.
He's done it!
Yeah.
He's done it. That's a point for Ben. You can take it to a tiebreaker, Amy, if you get this next movie. If not, that's all she wrote. Multiple worlds collide in a whirlwind romantic adventure. In the weeks before holidays, overlapping stories of love and longing from across London. From a prime minister to a grieving stepfather. Are you for real, guys?
Are you serious?
Whether it's a writer's seaside retreat or a child's drum-heavy crush. Oh, dude. The film reveals in love's absurdity and tenderness.
Ben.
It's at the tip of my tongue.
Love Actually?
Yes!
Yeah!
Obviously!
Undefeated!
Amy, have you seen a rom-com in your life?
Yeah, I have. It was at the tip of my tongue.
I don't think it was. Are you more into sci-fi or something? What's your deal?
I love my rom-com.
I don't know if you do, mate. They were 3 heavy hitters.
That's so embarrassing.
No,
Amy, you did great.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that. You were lovely.
Amy, have you got plans tonight for Valentine's Day? What are you getting up to?
Not a lot at all. I think I'm just spending it on my own.
We'll give you a skincare pack, Amy, valued at $300 so you can have a gal's night at home, all thanks to Tribe.
Oh, that is so nice. Thank you guys so much.
No worries. Happy Valentine's Day, Amy.
Thank you. You too.
If you're listening to this podcast at 2 times speed, it's the Ben Lehman Bell Podcast.
Ben Lehman Bell on Nova across Australia. I hope you're ready for this.
Ben Lehman Bell's
Gory Stories.
Yep, it really does what it says on the tin. Gory stories. The gorier, the better. 13, 24, 10. Have you got a story that makes people's skin crawl when you tell them? We want to hear it.
Our favourite caller tonight will be walking away with a $100 Camplify voucher. Let's kick it off with Em. Good evening, Em. What's your gory story?
I was about 7 years old and I jumped off of the roof
of our little kids' treehouse, cubby house in our backyard, and a big branch went through my foot. I ended up having about 12 stitches. That's how big of a hole that it left through my foot. I called out, "Mum, I've hurt my foot." And she said, "Well, walk over here and show me." So I walked around the corner of our house with this branch hanging out my foot, and Mum fainted. So then Dad had to put us both in the back of the car and drive us to the hospital.
Thanks, Em. Let's go. Justin, tell us your gory story.
I was on a four-wheel motorbike and I was going up this really steep hill, and before I got to the top, the bike decided to flip on top of me. I broke my collarbone and I broke 3 ribs.
Oh, death traps, aren't they? The old ATVs.
You always say that, but I used to ride one every day on the dairy farm, and they were always pretty safe.
Yeah, we'll speak to Justin, mate. He's got a collarbone and 3 ribs that would say otherwise.
Learn to drive, Justin.
Oi.
Thanks for calling. Jess in Sydney, tell us about your gory story.
A few years ago, I got bitten by something on the leg, and because it's like venom or stuff got inside of my leg, I had to have surgery, and they couldn't stitch up my leg, so I was walking around for about a month with a hole in my leg.
Oh. What do you mean? So it was like draining the...
So they couldn't stitch it, so they cleansed it, and then it was like just literally just a black hole in my leg, and like occasionally it'd bleed or like stuff would come out of it.
Oh.
What hospital did you go to? They're like, well, we can't actually stitch this back up.
Because of like the risk of infection. Like,
oh, they have
just
to
in
air
case
it
was
out.
Still, yeah. pretty much.
Oh. Ooh.
And then once it was aired out and all good, they stitched it up, yeah?
Oh, yeah, it would by itself. It kind of just grew back together.
Oh, right, yeah. Sounds like you got yourself a lazy doctor there. Like, yeah, you just need to air out that hole. It'll just air it out for a few days, I reckon.
Let's go one more. Paul, tell us your gory story.
A few years ago, I was moving some things in the backyard and bent down to pick up a pot plant out of the garden, and there was a yucca tree in there as well, and on one of the pointy leaves on the yucca plant pierced my eyeball.
Yuck indeed.
Can you describe what that felt like?
It felt like something touched the back of my eye.
Oh.
Like I thought the leaf went under my eyeball and, tickled the back of it. And then as I've looked up, my friend's gone, "Oh my God, your eye's bleeding." And I was like, "What?" And then realised it had actually pierced through the eyeball.
So are you blind now, Paul?
No, it got through the white part of my eye. And, just I think it was an eye patch and, antibiotics or whatever for a couple of days.
Pretty good.
Fine.
Pretty good result, really. Yeah. Could have lost the eye. Just a few antibiotics and an eye patch for a bit.
And that's it!
Liked that podcast? There's heaps more to listen to if you just scroll back or download the Nova Player app.
Ben, Liam, and Bell.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app, revofitness.com.au, or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.